Focusing back now on our breaking coverage of Sean Diddy Combs' racketeering and trial in New York. Right now,
Latifah was on Diddy's back.
No, Diddy was on Queen Latifah's back.
They was naked?
No, like horse playing through like the party, like you just horse playing, like having fun. That's when I remember.
Queen Latifah and Diddy's relationship is one you'll never see the same way again, especially after Diddy's recent trial turned heads. Their bond goes back to the 90s, from exclusive New York parties to co-hosting major charity telethons. Yet, behind the scenes, their connection stayed largely private. Now, resurfaced footage of Diddy playfully riding on Queen Latifah's back is sparking new questions. Did she know more about Diddy's darkest moments than she ever revealed? Fans believe their friendship hides deep secrets. Let's uncover the truth behind this complicated connection.
Call all the shots, rip all the spots, rock all the rocks, top all the drops.
Look, to most folks, Queen Latifah and Diddy? No, they don't exactly come off as tight. She's hip-hop royalty, queen of the mic, queen of the screen, rocking that grace, that power, that unshakable vibe. He's the bad boy kingpin, the mogul who built an empire from the ground up, living large, making headlines, sometimes for all the wild reasons. But here's the thing, they've been linked way deeper than the tabloids ever told you. We talk in decades, real history. Queen Latifah was rolling with Diddy way back in the late 90s. She was at his 29th birthday bash in '98 at Cipriani's NYC, the kind of event where hip-hop's elite gather, making moves and memories. They've shared stages, events, moments you see on the surface. Beat honors in 2010, LL Cool J's Walk of Fame, in 2016 public appearances that whisper, they close. In 2017, Diddy threw down his Revolt Music Conference in Miami. Queen Latifah? She's the one they crowned with the Icon Award. That's not just a shiny trophy. That's Diddy putting her on a pedestal, shouting out her grind in music, film, TV. Lauryn Hill, Sia performing in her honor. It's respect, loyalty, and love wrapped into one moment. And it ain't just about lights and cameras. In 2010, they linked up for BET's SOS Saving Ourselves Help for Haiti telethon, co-hosting, bringing the culture together to raise money, to save lives. Mary J. Blige, Carrie Hilson on the mic, real talk, real action.
So Queen Latifah was on Diddy's back.
No, Diddy was on Queen Latifah's back.
They was naked?
No, like horse playing through like the party, like you just horse playing, like having fun. That's when I remember.
But here's where it gets juicy recently. Some wild footage popped off. Diddy, at one of his legendary parties, playing around, straight up riding on Queen Latifah's back. Now, if you ain't see it, that might sound funny. But it's a snapshot of a bond that goes beyond flash and show. It's raw. It's real. And with Diddy's legal heat coming down, people are asking, what did Queen Latifah know? How close were they really? It's one thing to pose in pictures with someone. It's another thing entirely to call them your brother from another beautiful mother. But that's exactly what Queen Latifah did. In a now resurfaced Facebook post, Latifah didn't just wish Diddy a happy birthday. She praised him like a legend, like royalty. Her words were, "Happy birthday to my brother from another beautiful mother, Diddy. You've achieved so much and set an example of excellence for so many. Bad boy for life." Now, to the average fan, this might just seem like a heartfelt birthday shout-out. Sweet, friendly, harmless. But to those paying closer attention, especially now, after everything that's surfaced, this isn't just a birthday message. This ain't just about the fame game or flashing lights. This is loyalty. This is real life. Two legends, riding through the storms, side by side, hidden from the public eye, but solid as ever. What really makes the Queen Latifah and Diddy story hit different is how low-key she's kept it. Before all the legal drama hit Diddy, Latifah never waved that closeness around. To most fans, that silence ain't just playing it cool. It feels like she knew way more than she showed a choice to keep things locked down tight. People been whispering, speculating. Did Queen Latifah know about the storms Diddy was going through? Some say she was fully in the loop, but chose silence over drama, loyalty over headlines. After all, decades in the game teach you the rules. Some truths don't belong in the spotlight.
Never came out officially.
Oh, she's
And that's
never
the good-
said it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the good thing about it. You don't know about it until it come out of my mouth. So she never came out officially.
At 54, Latifah finally dropped hints about private fears she never put on blast before. Nothing's ever fully confirmed, but you get the vibe she's a master at balancing that polished public image while juggling complicated, messy ties behind closed doors. Her silence isn't just playing it safe. It's a shield protecting herself, perhaps protecting Diddy, and maybe hiding secrets the world's only starting to glimpse.
Jury selection starting today in Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial. Prospective jurors are inside the courtroom now along with Combs. Federal prosecutors allege he abused, threatened, and coerced women into prolonged, drug-fueled sexual orgies he called freak-offs, and then threatened them into silence.
When Diddy's trial hit the headlines, it was like a bomb went off in the music and entertainment world. Everybody was shook. Tweets were flying, news channels blowing up, and the streets, they were buzzing. But here's the thing, while all eyes were glued on Diddy himself, the aftershocks didn't stop with him. Nah, the ripple effect spread wide, reaching deep into his circle of friends, allies, and people who roll with him. One name that got caught up in the crossfire? Queen Latifah. Now, the thing about Queen Latifah is she's always been that rare kind of friend, the one who don't need to make noise about who she's riding with. She never put their friendship on blast, never flexed it for clout, never made it part of her public story. But after Diddy's trial, her silence started to feel heavy, like it was loaded with meaning. People began asking themselves, was she quiet because she had more knowledge than she was letting on? Was she standing with Diddy knowing all the dirt, the drama, the mess beneath the surface? See, the trial wasn't just some legal battle. It was a full-on peeling back of layers of power, influence, loyalty, and secrets that no one outside Diddy's inner circle really knew about. Wild revelations came out about what goes on behind the scenes in his empire. Stories about deals, disputes, alliances, and betrayals.
To this stupid ass tweet. He says it's interesting that Queen Latifah was bashing academics for saying mean things about a woman, but didn't say anything about Diddy after he was accused of physically bashing a woman. For Queen Latifah to come out and say anything. You don't think there's a lot of celebrities in the industry that were waiting to say something, right? But they're waiting for confirmation. They're waiting for actual evidence to be put out.
Now, don't get it twisted. There's no smoking gun tying Queen Latifah to anything illegal or shady. Nothing concrete to point fingers at. But her unwavering presence right there in Diddy's camp while the storm raged makes folks wonder. Was she out here protecting him like a true ride or die? Or was she caught in a complicated web where the only way forward was silence? Because here's the thing about friendships like that in the game. They ain't simple. It's a mix of loyalty, trust, and sometimes survival. You gotta walk a fine line when your business is public, your enemies are watching, and every move you make is under a microscope. Queen Latifah's silence isn't just her playing it safe, it's a powerful statement. It says she's in it for the long haul, come rain or shine. No matter what rumors or drama come with the package. And now, after the trial's verdict, that silence, it's louder than ever. It's like the quiet before the next storm, making everybody lean in closer, waiting for the next chapter to drop. Was Queen Latifah just the loyal friend, keeping her boys back no matter what? Or is there a whole story hiding beneath the surface? A story that hasn't been told yet? That's what makes this saga so compelling. Because when someone like Diddy's world is shaking apart on the biggest stage, what do you do if you're Queen Latifah? Do you walk away? Or do you stay silent, shoulder to shoulder, protecting a friendship that's deeper than the headlines show? Her choice to stay silent speaks volumes, And it's got the streets and the fans watching her every move like a thriller series nobody can stop watching.
It's official. I survived what I've been through. Y'all got drama, the saga continue.
In Hollywood, and especially in the music industry, relationships aren't what they seem. On the surface, you've got glam, smiles, red carpets, and birthday shoutouts. But peel back that top layer, and what you're left with is a battlefield. A place where trust is currency and power is everything. And when it comes to Queen Latifah and Diddy, this ain't no surface-level, casual industry friendship. This is a high-stakes connection, forged behind the scenes over decades, where every interaction is strategic, every appearance deliberate, and every silence loud. Let's be real. Both of them are legends in their own right. Latifah, hip-hop royalty, a pioneer, an icon who kicked open doors for women, for black artists, and for creatives who refuse to be boxed in. Diddy, the ultimate mogul, a man whose empire was built on hustle, controversy, and keeping people guessing. So when you put those two together, you don't just get friendship, you get a long-standing alliance with layers of power, history, and survival. It's the kind of bond that doesn't need to be flaunted. In fact, the less the world sees, the more control they hold. And that's what makes it so interesting. Because even before the recent allegations rocked Diddy's world, Latifah was already keeping their connection low-key, rarely seen together publicly, rarely posting, barely acknowledging what some fans claim was an unshakable bond.
You know, this generation is probably one of the most empowered generations of our,
Diddy? Man, he's a titan. A mogul who's built empires from the ground up. He's the man behind Bad Boy Records, the kingmaker who's launched careers, controlled stories, and shaped the culture for decades. His world is massive, loud, and sometimes chaotic. Controversy follows him like a shadow, but that's part of the territory when you're at the top. Everything Diddy touches gets magnified. And that kind of power don't come without its own cost.
Hip-hop royalty just walked in, an icon just walked in, Queen Latifah, that is right.
Just sauntered in the room.
And she's also executive producer of The Equalizer. Good morning, how are you doing?
Then you got Queen Latifah, a queen in her own right. She's navigated music, film, and television with grace, authority, and a style all her own. From hip-hop royalty to Hollywood powerhouse, she's carved her lane and commands respect wherever she goes. But rolling with someone like Diddy, that's a different ballgame. You gotta move smart, keep your balance, and protect your own lane without losing the friendship. Insiders close to the situation say Queen Latifah knew exactly what she was doing. She understood the delicate balance she had to maintain, keeping her reputation clean, her career sharp, and her personal life steady while being part of Diddy's world. That's why their friendship stayed largely under the radar, hidden behind a curtain of discretion. No flashy social media posts, no public declarations, just a quiet, powerful bond that didn't need validation from the outside. Even though Diddy never addressed it, that moment where he literally rode Queen Latifah's back became something fans wouldn't forget. Especially now. A fan said, Queen Latifah's always been about respect and professionalism. But with Diddy, it's like she had to walk a fine line supporting him, but not letting his chaos spill over. This friendship was more than just two stars linking up. The internet is on fire, buzzing with heated theories about what Queen Latifah's long silence really means. Social media is flooded with opinions, some praising her fierce loyalty, others questioning what secrets she might be guarding. The debate is intense, with every comment adding fuel to the fire. Many fans call her the silent guardian, believing she's been quietly holding down the fort through thick and thin. But just as many ask the hard questions. If she cared that much, why didn't she ever speak up or intervene? Here's a snapshot of the social media storm. Queen Latifah's loyalty is legendary, but at what cost? What's she hiding? This is Hollywood in a nutshell. Secrets behind every smile. Does anyone else think she knew way more than she let on? something's definitely not right. I used to admire her, but now I'm wondering if silence was complicity. Despite all the noise, it's important to remember none of these whispers or accusations have been proven. They remain theories, spinning wildly because so many details are still locked away from the public eye. But the very existence of this swirling speculation reveals one undeniable truth. Queen Latifah and Diddy's stories are deeply entangled. Their connection runs far beneath the surface, and fans can't help but want to uncover what lies beneath that silence.
Best piece of advice I ever received came from my partner / manager, Shakim, and it was, it ain't that serious. That was the advice.
Queen Latifah has always been the picture of calm control, but that doesn't mean she hasn't faced her share of storms. Over the years, whispers and rumors have followed her, like shadows just out of sight. Then, at 54, she finally stepped forward to confirm some of the fears fans had quietly held about her personal life. The moment wasn't random. It came after years of carefully crafting an image that balanced strength with privacy. This quiet, deliberate way of handling things, revealing only what she chooses, when she chooses, feels like a key to understanding her friendship with Diddy. Where he's all flash and noise, she's the steady, unshaken force behind the scenes. It's a friendship lived mostly in whispers and knowing glances, not headlines or Instagram posts. Diddy's wild public persona, part mogul, part party king, could never overshadow her grounded presence. But beneath their very different styles lies a bond shaped by trust, silence, and a mutual understanding of when to step into the light and when to stay in the shadows. Is her silence about Diddy just a way to protect herself? Or is it a sign of a deeper loyalty, a pact forged in years of navigating the tricky, unforgiving worlds they both inhabit? Either way, it's clear that Queen Latifah's public grace hides a complexity few get to see, making her friendship with Diddy all the more intriguing. The bigger picture. What this friendship reveals about Hollywood. The story of Queen Latifah and Diddy is more than just two famous names linked by friendship. It's a peek behind the velvet curtain into a world where relationships are woven with layers of unspoken rules and fragile alliances. In Hollywood, bonds like theirs aren't just about friendship. They're about survival. Queen Latifah's silence feels less like secrecy and more like strategy. Protecting Diddy wasn't only about shielding him from scandal. It was about guarding her own carefully built empire. In an industry where reputation is currency, speaking out can sometimes cost everything you've worked for. When the trial hit, the internet exploded. Fans and critics alike saw this as a textbook case of Hollywood's code. Loyalty is prized, silence is golden, and truth is often the last thing on the table. Their friendship is a reminder that behind every headline, there's a complicated dance of trust, power, and protection. And sometimes, what's left unsaid says more than words ever could.
Today in a Manhattan hotel last week. Our senior investigative court.
Now that Diddy's explosive trial continues, one truth stands out. Queen Latifah's image has been forever changed. For years, she was seen as this strong, poised figure, the queen of hip-hop royalty with a career marked by grace and resilience. But this hidden chapter in her life, her deep, complicated friendship with Diddy, adds a new dimension that can't be ignored.
Welcome to the 54th Annual NAACP Image Awards Live!
Was she simply a loyal friend protecting someone she cared about? Or was she a silent witness to the darker, messier sides of fame and power? The answers remain locked behind closed doors, but the speculation itself reveals just how tangled loyalty can be in Hollywood, a world built on contradictions, hidden truths, and unspoken rules. You might have admired Queen Latifah for her talent and strength all these years, but after peeling back the layers on this secret bond, you'll never quite see her the same way again. Because in the end, Their story is a reminder that in Hollywood, nothing is ever just what it seems, and sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones whispered behind the scenes. What's next? So here we are, two icons, Queen Latifah and Diddy, linked by decades of friendship, mutual respect, and an unspoken bond that has weathered the highs and the lows of fame. In the middle of a media storm surrounding Diddy, one name keeps popping up, not with controversy, but with curiosity: Queen Latifah. And maybe that's the story. While the world analyzes every headline, every allegation, and every silence, her name enters the room with quiet strength. She hasn't spoken publicly, she hasn't distanced herself, and she hasn't explained why. Is it loyalty? Is it love? Is it the kind of deep friendship that simply isn't meant for public interpretation? In an industry where alliances come and go, theirs has remained steady. But that very steadiness is what raises eyebrows now. Because when someone as grounded and respected as Queen Latifah chooses to remain connected to someone under this much scrutiny, people naturally wonder, what does she know? And how does she feel? Maybe it's not about guilt by association. Maybe it's about understanding the nuances of real human relationships, ones that stretch across years, across public perception, across scandal and silence. One thing's clear: Queen Latifah has always moved with care, with intention, and with purpose. If she chooses to stay close, there's likely more to that story than we know. And as this chapter in Diddy's life unfolds, so does the quiet presence of one of hip-hop's most respected figures. We're not here to speculate. We're just here to ask what everyone's thinking softly, respectfully. Where does Queen Latifah fit into it all? And will we ever really know?